Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday. I'm in the office. You know what that means, the Saturday Morning Hustle. And I'm about to go on the mic here to do the Saturday Morning Hustle podcast because today I'm actually talking about 3 different topics from 4 different Saturday Morning Hustle posts over the last few years, 19, 18, 2017 and 2016. I'm going to touch on a few items that I talked about in those videos at length on the podcast, so you can get the full details on the full podcast. So here we go. Good morning. It's Saturday. I'm in the office. You know what that means, the Saturday Morning Hustle podcast, and I'm switching it up, doing it a little bit different today. On the social media post for the Saturday Morning Hustle today, this morning, I'm actually reposting 4 previous posts from the last 4 years, 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, but I'm going to expand upon the ideas that I only had a minute to talk about in the previous post because I wasn't recording a podcast at that time. So now I'm going to give you the full idea behind each of these 4 ideas. These 4 ideas being positive reinforcement, the second idea being if it's worth achieving, it's worth working hard for. The third idea is change and collaboration, how to create an opportunity for yourself out of negatives that came from when we were losing our space at 1219 Creative. We were having to leave a space that would really have well established and moved into something else, which eventually became this space, which is Project 3810. And then 2016, as the Saturday Morning Hustle was just started, it wasn't even doing videos yet, but there's still a shout out to all the hustlers and grinders who were in the office every Saturday, getting it done, earning it, even on the weekends, because that's what hustlers and grinders do. So here we go. Let's extend the ideas behind positive reinforcements from the Saturday Morning Hustle social media post from 2019. So obviously everyone appreciates positive reinforcement, and there's tons and tons of value in using positive reinforcement instead of negative reinforcement. But we still often, people in leadership roles, people who are collaborative, or even people who are on outside of someone else trying to create success for them that we're not even involved with, sometimes it can be very awkward or strange or difficult to think about how to offer that positive reinforcement that seems sincere, that seems authentic, is helpful, is beneficial to the person that you're trying to talk to, and doesn't come off as self-serving or trying to add yourself to the participation of what they're doing if you're not already involved. And the key to this is simply just doing it. It's worth the risk, the potential embarrassment, the awkwardness, the clumsiness of, hey, I don't know how to say this, but I think you're doing a great job, or keep going, or you can do it, or you may not even know me. Maybe I'm just someone who follows you on Twitter, but I want to give you some positive reinforcement. Anything that's holding you back from doing that, it's worth the idea of getting over that and to order to offer that positive reinforcement. It is worth it to offer the positive feedback, to promote that person's personal wealth and their ideas about themselves, what they're doing with their project. You never know when someone's on the edge of giving up or doing something different or not following through, and something as simple as a shout out from someone on social media, or something as personal as a actual conversation with someone that they know, that they trust, that they find value in, to say, I find value in what you're doing. I think you're doing a good job. I want you to keep doing it. That has tremendous power. And it's power that comes from normal people. You don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to be something special in order to offer positive reinforcement to people if you can get over the idea that it might feel a little weird or it might seem a little awkward. Don't worry about that. Think about the positives that you can create by simply reinforcing the ideas of what people are doing are working, people are paying attention, or that there's someone out there who wants them to keep doing it. So absolutely keep doing that. The second part of that, the 2018 post, is about how if it's worth it, it's going to be hard. There's no such thing as an overnight success. Every overnight success has been hustling and grinding for years and years and years. It just looks like it's an overnight success. If it's worth something, it's going to be hard work, but it will be worth putting the work in to earn it. You don't want it easy. You want to earn it. You want to get it. You want to work through the process. Simply having something doesn't mean you can keep that level of success unless you built it yourself, unless you know every brick in the foundation, how it got there, and if there are cracks, if there are setbacks or things that make it not work as well, you have to be able to reset the growth, the structure, the success level, because not everything always goes linear in the right direction. Sometimes you have you have setbacks, you have things that take away from what you've built. If you don't know how you built it, if you didn't build it correctly, structure it correctly, if you didn't do the work and put the effort in and learn from that experience and now own that experience, you won't be able to move it forward, to duplicate it, to replicate it, to grow even further, take what you've learned from there and expand upon it. And you absolutely will not be able to handle setbacks or things that take away from that success level that you've built. So it's easy to think, I want it easy. It's really hard to think, I want to hustle and grind my guts out for it. But that's how you build sustainable success, is working hard and achieving something that's worth it because you put the work in. That's what we're doing here on Saturdays. We're in the office. We come in early every day. We leave late. We put the hours in. We hustle and grind, even on the weekend. All of that because if you want success, you have to earn it in order to keep it. That's super important, an idea that too many people get focused on the end product, on what ends up being, what's the thing that you're working towards. And if you will change your mindset to the process, the journey, the hustle and grind to get from where you are to where you want to be is the most important aspect, because it's the most educational and informative to you. It will teach you how to do it so that you can do it again, you can sustain it, etc. So real success comes from working the process, understanding, embracing the process, embracing the hustle and grind. Then when you do have that success, you're going to value it so much. You'll also understand the things that you needed, whether you got help or you just needed it and you had to do it yourself along the way, the gaps in the journey, the things that were hurdles, roadblocks, etc., so that when you have success, you can reach back and help other people get over their hurdles, roadblocks, etc., because you know what they are, you've been through the process. So earning it is the hardest part and the most rewarding and beneficial part. So don't forget, hard work pays off in success. You keep success through hard work. It's a never-ending cycle of continuing to hustle and grind, but that's what it's all about. If you weren't like that, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast anyways. So in 2017, I talked a lot about collaboration, finding ways to work with people that are in your field, people that are out of your field, people that you would be expected to collaborate with, people you would not be expected to collaborate with. And the reason for that is to expand your audience, to expand your base, to expand your skill set, to expand your knowledge, to expand your experiences, because you're also going to have a lot of change. Growth comes from change. Success comes from growth. In order to be successful, you have to grow. To grow, you have to change. Growth, by its own definition, is change. Managing change, directing change, promoting change, actively pushing that change that becomes growth, typically comes from one of two places. It comes from your desire to grow and to do better and your push and move, or a reaction to something negative, something else that's happening in your world that's not what you want it to be. You don't have enough money, you don't have the opportunity, you're not doing the thing you want to do, you're not getting to be in the place you want to be or be in a scenario that feels right to you. You need to change those things. Change too often is looked at as a negative, something that's holding you back, something's restricting you, something is moving you in the wrong direction. But you have to embrace change, because change is the opportunity to grow, growth is the opportunity to create success. See how that works? So when you have negative aspects, when you have setbacks, when you have things that aren't working as well as possible, when you're not going exactly in the right direction, that is an opportunity to learn from, to change, to adapt, to grow, to move forward. So a great example of this was at the time that I made this post in 2017, we eventually lost our building at 1219 Creative. We had this amazing collaborative space, 12th and Classen, the address was 1219, thus 1219 Creative. We had an art gallery, a co-working space, we had private offices, we had common areas, we had an amazing deck out back that was private that no one knew about. And everyone that worked there were entrepreneurs, were artists, were hustlers and grinders. We all had the same mindset. We were the same type of people. So we got along well. We collaborated together. We definitely, absolutely collaborated together on a lot of different things for a lot of different reasons. And then we benefited from each other. The value of the group was better than the individuals. But we lost the opportunity because someone came and bought the entire building. Not just us, not our side. One half of the building was us, the other half was another business. They bought the entire thing. They've gone on to do some really dumb stuff with it. Nothing great, nothing like what we were doing when we were there. But that, what seemed like a really negative situation, being basically essentially forced out of this space that we had built from nothing, that we had created this little collaborative group, this family, if you will. It was being broke up. So we were pushed all different directions. Some people handled it well, some people didn't. Some people took it to make huge changes and moves in their businesses. Other people continued doing what they're doing, just in a different place. And the situation we had that we all loved and enjoyed was changed for us. But from that, I can only speak for myself on this one. I know a couple of people, I've watched what they've done. They've gone on to have great success. For me, it put me in a different situation now over Project 3810, getting to collaborate with the folks over here from the start of this place, now into 2 years later, what is developed into a really amazing collaborative space. And I enjoy being here and the people I work with and around, and all of the things that have come to this space. And this opportunities probably would have not been available to me, and I probably would have not known about any of the opportunities that have come along from being in this space if I had not been forced to change from the office and co-work space that I loved so much to this scenario. So it's different. It's a change. It wasn't my idea, but I adapted as well as possible, and I tried to make it as positive of a change as possible, put it into my growth ideas, and move forward with it. So change and collaboration. Change is always going to happen. The more you collaborate, the more that you are collaborative in your attitude and your expansion of ideas and your circle of influence, the more you can manage change and make it positive for you. So always think of anything that comes into your life that changes things for you, if it's wanted or unwanted, as an opportunity to grow, and grow equals success. And ultimately, when I started the Saturday Morning Hustle social media post in 2016, can you believe it was 2016 when I started making Saturday Morning Hustle post from the office at 1219 Creative, because I was there on Saturdays getting work done. The phone didn't ring, emails were not coming in, not very many people were stopping in to say, hey, so I got a lot of work done outside of making some social media posts that of course now become a social media series, a video series, a podcast series, and everything else kind of organically grew out of that. But I started making my post in 2016, including things like just simple shout outs to the hustlers and grinders, the people who were in the office on a Saturday working, because as simple as it sounds, that's dedication, that's hustle, that's grind. So shout out to everyone listening to the podcast today. Shout out to everyone watching on YouTube, listening on iTunes, on Spotify, on all the great places you find the podcast. I appreciate you guys so much. Appreciate everyone who interacts on social media as well. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you want to hear about. Let me know what you want to talk about, what will help motivate you, what will inspire you, what you need to know to change and grow and create success for yourself. Let me know. Hit me up on social media. Send me an email. You can find me at SaturdayMorningHustle.com. All those great places. If you found the podcast, you know how to find me. Let me know what you like to hear more of. We'll talk to you next Saturday, because if it's Saturday, I'm in the office, and you know what that means. The Saturday Morning Hustle podcast. See you next week. Until then, good luck.